In the headlines, the United Workers' Party halts all activities in response to the sudden death of its candidate for Grand Bay, Noreen John. The first named storm is formed ahead of the official start of the 2019 hurricane season, and farmers and the wider public warned drought-like conditions could be prolonged on Dominica's west coast. I'm Andrea Lee with the Channel 5 News, back with the details after this.
Here are some tips to reduce mosquito presence in and around your home. Keep water storage containers properly covered. Remove containers that can collect water from your surroundings. Keep garbage bins tightly covered. Pick up your litter and remove all tires from your yard. Keep gutters free of leaves and twigs to prevent stagnant water. Prevent Zika, dengue, and chikungunya. Fight the bite. This is a public service announcement from the Dominica Red Cross.
This message is supported by Flow.
Thank you for staying with us. First up, the United Workers' Party has put on hold all public functions until a later date. This as the party mourns the death of its candidate for the Grand Bay constituency, Noreen John. On Sunday, the UWP officially presented its team of candidates to the public with the absence of John. John passed away while in Antigua seeking medical attention.
The United Workers' Party announces the sudden passing of our sister and patriot, Noreen John, who has gone to meet her maker. On behalf of Team Dominica, we extend heartfelt condolences to her husband, daughter, brothers and sisters, and the rest of the family on the sudden passing of Noreen John. Noreen was the declared UWP candidate for the Grand Bay constituency and a proud, dedicated community organizer, youth advocate, and attorney at law.
President of the United Workers' Party, Isaac Baptist, says the party will cease all public functions until the burial of Noreen John has taken place.
Team Dominica UWP joins the John family, friends, and community residents from Grand Bay, Soufriere, and the wider Dominica community in mourning. United Workers' Party will suspend all public engagement until after the burial of patriot and sister Noreen John. May she rest in peace.
In related news, Public Relations Officer for the Dominica Labour Party, who is also its candidate for the Grand Bay constituency, has described the late Noreen John as a community activist. John, who was contesting the Grand Bay seat on a UWP ticket, passed away unexpectedly in Antigua on Monday night. Edward Regist, the DLP PRO and the candidate for the Grand Bay constituency, says the news of John's passing was saddening.
Earlier on this morning, it was with profound sadness that we were greeted with the news of the passing of Noreen John, the UWP announced candidate for the Grand Bay constituency. I have known Noreen all my life. She's been a community activist, particularly in her younger days. She is a person whom I have had many pleasant conversations with regarding the development of Grand Bay, and one whom I know held very firm convictions about, the potential of the community.
Regis says John will also be remembered for her work as an attorney at law, especially her contribution to the legal aid clinic.
Noreen contributed towards that. Her contribution there is quite notable. She did so for many years. Even as a lawyer herself, I'm certain that many people sought her counsel and her services. And even right here in Grand Bay, I'm certain that a number of people here would have sought her services. She did open a legal office here in Granby.
Regis, who is also chairman of the Granby Village Council, looked forward to working with John on community matters and says she will be greatly missed by the entire community.
And I looked forward to, having a dialogue with her. And I think that is what we have to do as leaders, and especially as people seeking public office. We need to dialogue with each other and to come up with, new and interesting initiatives for the advancement of our community. I want to extend condolences to her family. I know the brothers and sisters well. I knew her mom and her dad, so I'm quite familiar with the family. And I also want to extend condolences to her friends and her colleagues in the legal profession, as well as the leadership and members of the United Workers' Party.
Condolences from the political arena continue to pour in for the family and friends of the late Noreen John. Leader of the Dominica Freedom Party, Kent Vital, says the country has lost a talented daughter of the soil willing to give of her skills and abilities to help move the country forward.
I am saddened to hear of the passing of Noreen John while she was in Antigua. As a country, we have lost a person who was willing to give of her skills and abilities to move our country forward. It was only recently that I approached her to assist with a matter for the national good, and she quickly consented. I applaud her recent decision to offer herself to represent the people of Granby as a political candidate. This showed that she was a Dominican who rose to the challenge we are now having as a nation, the need for men and women of integrity to lead our nation. So on behalf of the executive of the Dominica Freedom Party, I extend deepest condolences to her husband and her family. We mourn with you this dear and kind soul.
In other top stories, the first named storm for the 2019 hurricane season has formed. The hurricane season officially runs from 1st June to 30th November each year. However, the formation of weather systems outside of this timeline is not unheard of. Coordinator at the Office of Disaster Management, Fitzroy Pascal, says this weather system poses no threat to Dominica.
The official start of the 2019 Atlantic hurricane season is June 1st. Already, the first named storm, Andrea, formed on May 20th and does not pose a threat to Dominica. Some predictions so far is for below normal season due to prevailing unexpected climatic conditions. However, regardless of the seasonal outlook, preparedness is paramount, as it only takes one system to cause disruption to life and loss of property. An informed public is more likely to consider and take steps to implement preparedness activities in some form.
As a means of increasing public awareness on the hazards associated with tropical cyclones, the ODM will host its annual Hurricane Preparedness Week from the 2nd of June.
The activities will begin with prayers in churches on Sunday, June 2nd. Throughout the week, there will also be media interactions providing relevant information to the public and shelter inspections in collaboration with the local government division. Saturday, June 8th is designated as the day for families or individuals to complete a preparedness plan, including plans for evacuation. During Hurricane Preparedness Week, all are advised to carry out inspection of their personal shelters, disaster supplies, and family first aid kits, and ensure items are usable and top up where necessary. Additionally, ensure all important documents are properly secured.
In more developments, the Met Office has warned about the possibility of the expansion of drought-like conditions along Dominica's west coast. The Dominica Met Service is advising the public, including farmers, to continue to practice water conservation and to ensure that proper water storage measures are practiced.
The Dominica Meteorological Service has issued a drought warning for western communities of Dominica up to July 2019. From the start of 2019, that is from January, the beginning of the dry season, We have observed below normal rainfall amounts at the Kingsfield Airport, and we have projected this trend along the western part of the island. We have observed below normal rainfall at Douglas Charles for February and March. We do not consider this a meteorological drought, as we would need 3 consecutive months of below normal rainfall for drought to be considered. So therefore, a drought warning is in effect for the western communities, as I said, where drought-like conditions are already being felt. The island would have received some relief during April, where we recorded normal rainfall amounts at both airports. However, this has made no significant change in soil moisture content on the west coast. As the dry season comes to a close, the rainfall relief that is expected with the onset of the wet season, which normally occurs in June, this may be delayed. So therefore, it is highly likely that the dry season will be extended and drought-like conditions on the west coast may be prolonged. Accompanied with the predictions for below normal rainfall, we are also looking at projections for above normal temperatures. From May to October, this period is considered the Caribbean heat season, and therefore the potential for bushfires remain elevated during the period.
You are watching the Channel 5 News. Stay tuned for more after the break.
I love the freedom when I'm out there. Simply put, the worries from shore, none of that out there. And it's my daily bread. I learned it from my dad. My dad is one of the senior guys here who catch the biggest fish around here. And he's top with the red snappers. It's a family thing. I'm the only one fishing right now in the family. Just keeping it going. I enjoy bringing them up, man. Sometimes you have a yellowfin tuna, 400 pounds. Man, let me tell you, that's just a joy out there. I enjoy going out there and just holding the big fish. I don't lift weights, I lift fish. The morning of my fishing trip, I would get up, make a little spiced tea. Then I come down here. I have my GPS, which most fishermen are supposed to have that. Normally I prepare the day before, because whenever you're going out there, you must have ice. Ice is a must for preservation of the fish. So I always make sure I have everything the day before. My fish represents me, and I bring good quality fish ashore simply because the restaurants themselves, they have to show a quality product. Tourism and agriculture go hand in hand. That's what I think. We're all connected. It's like a big machine, and I'm just so proud to be a part of it. My name is Brandon Carlisle, and tourism is my business.
If you're HIV positive or have an STI, having unprotected sex with multiple partners puts them in grave danger. You'll expose every partner and their present and future partners to HIV or another STI. Use a condom every time you have sex. You can live a productive life even if diagnosed with HIV. Remember, early detection is key to your survival. Be responsible, protect yourself and others. Help stop the spread of HIV and other STIs.
Welcome back. Prime Minister Roosevelt Skerrit says he would be very disappointed if the UWP candidate contesting the VACA seat did not lose his deposit.
As far as the United Workers' Party is concerned, Clement Marcelin is the right man for the job. But local businessman Parry Bellot says the Prime Minister has nothing to worry about, as it's unlikely he will be unseated by Marcelin.
No, and not likely to be in any country of the world, in any state, where your Prime Minister or your President is running, say, it almost guaranteed that he will win, because the community, for instance, say Trump, I don't know where he comes from or whatever, but whatever state he comes from, I think it may have been Texas, I've lost track, Wisconsin, one of them, they'll almost certainly vote for the guy. He was the president. In any island, and you have constituencies, Gaston Brown comes from a certain constituency. That constituency is going to put back Gaston Brown. He was their prime minister. I mean, they want that again. So I think just on that basis, I doubt if anybody would be able to unseat the prime minister in his own constituency.
Bellot says the larger question is how the Labour Party will perform in the other constituencies.
And it's going to be an interesting election. I don't think the prime minister's put out the big guns yet. in whatnot. He, you know, I've always considered him visionary in everything. And no doubt, because I saw that happen in past elections, and I'm wondering, but he's not seeming to respond to the real issues. The issue at the time when there was nothing happening at the Windsor Park. There was, you know, a problem of the thing having been abandoned, what the previous government Europe were trying to do. How are we building a stadium there, whatever? There was another question. I remember that a lot of people complaining unemployment is dropping significantly. What's happening? We're seeing some foreigners, but locally nothing happened. He came up with the NEP. To this day, and the opposition kept saying that's not sustainable, can't last long. It's going on more than 10 years, NEP. It doesn't pay the highest wages, but it's bringing regular income to a lot of people and a lot of training. That counts for something.
The Prime Minister has brought in some new faces for the 2020 election, replacing more experienced candidates. We asked Parry Bellot about the likely outcome of that decision.
It certainly helped with fresh faces, but everybody, I think, of reasonable intelligence appreciates that the Prime Minister is the brains of the Labour Party. No big thing in a lot of countries, you know, the man at the top are the brains and the one responsible for a lot. And so that if you change the juniors, that's not necessarily changing the man at the top. But most people would like to keep the present man at the top because they see what he has done. When you see the reports of the IMF, of the World Bank about Dominica's progress, of course when you listen to the opposition, they keep asking, what has government done in 19 years? You know, but there's a reality to face that we have done a lot in these 19 years.
The Electoral Office is partnering with the Dominica State College and the UWI Open Campus in presenting a national panel discussion on the electoral process, the way forward. It is anticipated that representatives from both sides of Parliament will join the chairman of the Electoral Commission in the discussions.
We believe that there is a need to soberly discuss the issues surrounding the electoral process with a view towards public education. And these discussions ought to be held with those charged with shaping our legislation. It is with this aim that we created this panel discussion and invited 2 government parliamentarians and 2 opposition parliamentarians. These discussions will take place in the presence of persons from groups, NGOs, and other organizations from a wide cross-section of Dominica, who we have invited to participate as audience members and pose questions to the panel. We are encouraging all persons to lay down for a moment any entrenched position and openly, freely listen, and on the basis of that, participate in the discourse via the radio, television, or social media. This process is too important to be examined with bias, and we want to encourage doing so in an open forum that values the exchange of ideas on this issue.
Wednesday's panel discussion is scheduled for 6 p.m. at the Goodwill Parish Hall. And a group of college students from Martinique have joined with their parents and the teachers to extend a hand to students at the Goodwill Secondary School. The visiting delegation arrived here on Sunday and will leave on the weekend. They presented clothing items, a computer, and €880, which they believe will help their counterparts at the Goodwill Secondary School, whose building was destroyed by Hurricane Maria.
Good afternoon, Ms. Lewis. Good afternoon to the school community as well. We are from the college Petit Manoir from Martinique.
And we would like to thank you for your warm welcome, and for this present, we are happy to offer you this present.
During the year, we did fundraising at our school to be able to finance the trip and help you.
And it is with great pleasure that we offer you some clothes, then a printer on behalf of College Petit Manoir. Thank you.
But the most important gift, and we were a bit confused because we didn't know what to do with it, is we brought you some money that we hope will be used for the use of the school. Unfortunately, we were not able to go to the bank to get it changed, so we're going to be handing it over to you in euro principal. Use it and make something memorable for the students. College Petit Manoir takes great pleasure in offering you this thing.
Miss Coffee and your friends, you are
Miss Cardinier and Mrs. Desiree Césaire. On behalf of the students and teachers of the Goodwill Secondary School, would like to thank you very much for your kind donation this afternoon. The printer, the clothing, the money, everything that you have donated, we want you to know that we'll put it into good use. And we want you to know that you're welcome here at our school every year. Okay? Thank you very much.
The visiting group was due to meet President Savre on Tuesday. They will visit the Old Mill Cultural Center on Wednesday, and they will explore the Kainago territory on Thursday and head back to Martinique on Friday.
Here are some tips to reduce mosquito presence in and around your home. Keep water storage containers properly covered. Remove containers that can collect water from your surroundings. Keep garbage bins tightly covered. Pick up your litter and remove all tires from your yard. Keep gutters free of leaves and twigs to prevent stagnant water. Prevent Zika, dengue, and chikungunya. Fight the bite. This is a public service announcement from the Dominica Red Cross.
This message is supported by Flow.
To end the news, the headlines again. The United Workers' Party halts all activities in response to the sudden death of its candidate for Grand Bay, Noreen John. The first named storm is formed ahead of the official start of the 2019 hurricane season, and farmers and the wider public warned drought-like conditions could be prolonged on Dominica's west coast. Feel free to contact us at news@marpin2k4.com. You can also access our past newscasts on our YouTube channel. On behalf of the entire production team, I am Andrea Louis, and to all of our viewers around the world, thank you so much for watching. Join us next time.